tonight's hobby enhancement is brandy. G'day, my name's Chris, and my friends and I have been getting into black seas just lately. Part of a big push to go to the Napoleonics from a friend of ours, and I thought it was time to show how the fleet is coming along. And this is it in its starter box glory. So if you've seen the unboxing video, you might have noticed that I bought rather a lot of ships all at once. This is before I read the rulebook and had any idea of what the logistics of the whole game were. And I very quickly found out I had more ships than I needed for the Spanish fleet. And I also found out that the other fleets had already been taken with the French and British at the time, and they all had better national rules than the Spanish. So I thought what I'd do is, before diving into the full Spanish fleet and doing them up in all the specific colours as the flagship for my collection, I have a go at some of the generic ones from the starter box as test pieces really. So I did them up in colours that could be fitted to any fleet. They're not specifically national colours, although I stuck Spanish flags on them. And I figured that being generic ships, you could road test other fleets like the US special rules, or use them as allies to the Spanish fleet. So there is so much in the Spanish fleet box, especially when you throw in the capital ship for the Spanish, that I can't imagine ever playing a game where I use every single ship from the starter box as well as the Spanish fleet. So you can see here that I've gone almost the entire selection of rigging. This is straight out of the rulebook. A real ship has a lot more rigging than this, but I guess somewhere along the line somebody worked out the cost-benefit analysis and decided just how much swearing and pinching your fingers people are going to tolerate doing. And whoops, God, these are fiddly buggers. They sit just fine at the table, but they're fiddly buggers to pick up. And you know what? I think it's enough. I think there's enough stuff in this to convey the impression for that suspension of disbelief factor. So I tried a couple of different washes. Same brown for all of the hulls. This one is the Vallejo wash. It's a bit grittier, it gets a finer line, but it's a bit more patchy in its coverage. And this one is your bog standard Gaines Workshop. I don't know, Ogre Brown or Shade or whatever the hell they call it. A bit smoother in application. Less likely to find gaps where the pigment didn't take hold. You might notice in the close-ups that there are a couple of bits where there's been a bit of frosting on the beam. That's probably from the last one that I assembled earlier today, where I didn't realise there's frosting and needs a bit of touching up. And similarly, all the handling has meant that some of the gun barrels need a bit of touching up, so that's yet to be done. Also, I put flags on these. Now, some people will put a nice big flag on the back sail. They'll put a thread parallel to the back edge of the back sail and hang a flag off of it, which looks pretty, but I've not done it because I can't imagine that actually getting done. Maybe it was in the real world and I've just missed it, but it seems to, I would have thought that would interfere with the sail. Somebody who actually knows about the stuff will probably correct me in the comments. So I did have this bright idea of doing one of those maker type videos where you film yourself building the product, like doing the rigging. But after doing the first few ships, I realized it's basically 3 hours of me swearing my fucking brains out while proving that I don't know what I'm doing. So we're not going to do that video. I've paused this many ships because I'm learning to play this game with a good friend of mine, Andrew. Someone who Guzgul Thrucker might refer to as favoured enemy. And he's gone and assembled and rigged more ships than I have. So this is all that I actually need for the first 6 scenarios in the book. We've only tried the first 2 scenarios so far, and it's proven to be a really nice little rule system, lots of fun. But we didn't know what the fuck we were doing, and as a result, things went all horribly wrong in scenario 2. So, Andrew, I want a fucking rematch. And I'm bringing my own ships this time. Just as a quick comparison, the ships without the sails and rigging, they appear to be very nice little ships. I mean, they're really well detailed. They fit together really well. And they look alright if you don't compare them to anything else. But if you put them next to a ship that's got the full rigging and the sails and everything attached, the difference between a playing piece and a completed model is quite palpable. You might have come across some of the commentary going around about the Ratlines. That's that cross-thatched bit of rope work that goes from the deck partway up the mast. Some people are having a bit of a grumble that the plastic doesn't do it justice. Apparently there are jigs that you can get where you can hand thread your own ratlines on the template, then attach them yourself. I will not be doing that. The hours in my day do not permit, and I don't have that skill level. And to be honest with you, I quite like the ratlines the way they've done them. I think tabletop distance, the minor imperfections they don't show up to me with my eyesight. If you zoom right in, you can actually see a couple of areas with the ratlines. The one at the foremast should go all the way down to that jutting out bit of wood, the plank there. Mine don't. I'm not sure if that's because I cut them wrong, because they just didn't fit on the frigate that well. And of course, if you zoom right in, you can see, let's see if this to work. Yeah, a little bit of plastic problem with gluing them on. So they do glue over the front of the gun barrels. And that's the way it is in the pictures in the book. And this is actually showing up that some of my airbrushing came out a little bit scratchy on this model, which I couldn't tell from back here. But you know what? I'm not going to try and win an award with my ships. I just want them to look pretty on the tabletop. So those ratlines will do for me. One more thought with the flags. The paper sheets that come with the models shows what size ship each flag is supposed to go on. I'm using a bit of poetic license with these. But the trick, I think really someone else put me onto this, is to have at least one flag on it which is unique to that ship. And you'll find a corresponding flag that looks just like it somewhere else in either the paper sheet or in the card pop-outs that come with the starter set. And you can use those to identify each ship. So you put the corresponding little mini flag, in this case the yellow and red one, by whatever means you stick the same flag to the data sheet for that ship, the little ship card that comes in the pack. And that way you can always tell which brig is which frigate is which, and so on, and not get them all mixed up. So there we have it. The starter fleet is ready to sail. Once I've finished up the entire starter box, I might do another quick vid just to show you what it looks like, all laid out nice and pretty. And then we'll do the Spanish. This will tie us over until, God knows how long it'll take me with everything else we've got going on. But for now, thanks for watching. Feel free to hit like, subscribe and all that guff. Time to call it a night.